On that note, Stu, the one thing they do need to learn pretty quickly is how to win games after falling behind. You mentioned the Jeremy Sarmiento moment. That's the last time they won a game after being behind. That's what was that, April the 1st, 2024. So a year and a half. And McKenna has made reference to that a few times, hasn't he? In terms of we can work on our reaction to what happens when we go behind. That's your silly question now, but what's your take on that? Do you see kind of players kind of drop their heads and kind of be impacted by going behind more than they should be? Because clearly that's something that has been a great trait of Ipswich Town in again, harking back to that promotion run. You never felt like they were beaten, even if they did go behind. You always thought they could come back and score more goals than the opposition. And you don't get that feeling clearly now, and the stats back that up with this Ipswich Town side.
Yeah. The first thing I'd say is they have scored 3 last-minute equalisers this season. Birmingham opening day, Derby, Blackburn. So that's not completely gone, and there's been but definitely a comeback win is something to tick off. They've gone behind in 10 games and they've got 5 points from those. So got five draws and 5 defeats in those. So if you wanted to put a positive spin on it, in half of the games they've gone behind, they've still managed to get something. The comparison, again, we're going back to the comparison with the promotion season, but I think that it was different then because Ipswich was seen differently then. They were the newly promoted team that were underdogs and maybe underestimated for quite a big chunk of that season. And so when teams went ahead against Ipswich, now it's something to defend against. It's something to protect against Ipswich. And we've seen the difficulties with breaking down the deep block. In that promotion season, teams kept playing quite open, and Ipswich had that mentality of as soon as we go behind, we go back to get a goal. That's a little bit easier when you're playing against sort of more open teams. So probably every time we make this comparison to the promotion season, it is comparing apples and pears a little bit, I would say. I don't know. I've seen a lot of stuff about does this team care enough? Is there enough passion? Is there enough bite? Leif Davis is talking about I'd go to war for any of the boys in this dressing room. I think Dara O'Shea is really starting to grow as a leader. Matasiwa is someone that's can't be accused of not being up for the fight. Jack Taylor's someone who's smashing into tackles. No, I don't know if I'd go as far as sort of saying this isn't a team that's got enough heart in it at the moment. Well, again, I'll throw it back to you. Do you sense that you're a fighting man? Are you seeing enough passion? Are you seeing enough desire out there? Is that an element of this? What
it's like it's a kind of intangible that's it's hard to measure, isn't it? I would say that comparison is the thief of joy, isn't it? And therefore, if you're constantly comparing this side to the side that we all love so much, you're on a hiding to nothing, like I've already said. The only way they can show they've got that heart and they've got that ability is by doing it. And as you say, that's something they have to tick off thus far. Clearly this is a side with much, and again, it might be part of the issue is that this side is packed with players who are on big wages, have been brought in with big money and expect to start every single game. Whereas the previous side were players, a bunch of underdog players, all pulling towards something that none of them had ever done, which is get to the Premier League, really. And there was so much more defined in their roles as well. Whereas this side, we don't have that, do we? You'd imagine everyone thinks they should really be starting. So that's another kind of problem that McKenna has to work on and solve. But I will say, if anyone's going to find a way of gelling a team, it's going to be Kieran McKenna. He's done it already. He's with that team that were languishing in League One, and he took them all the way to the Premier League. I'm fairly confident they're going to be all right again under him. But you can't. It's hard to sit here now and say, well, they've got no heart, they've got no desire, because how do you measure that unless they come out and literally say that? Who are we to judge the size of a man's heart, as they say in boxing? But they have to show it. They have to come out and prove they can do it, because that's clearly one of the key signs of a good team. The key traits of a good team is being able to come back and win games that they've gone behind in. But you make a good point there, Stu, with the fact that they have come from behind. They just haven't won games. So it's not as if as soon as they go behind, they just fall apart and get beat 4 or 5 every time. That's not the case.